Hello and welcome to Stories, the True and the Fictional, the indie author podcast supporting indie authors from all around the world. This episode is brought to you by Rebecca Kearsells of the Rising Dawn series and Martin Kearns of the Valor of Valhalla series. You too can become a sponsor by heading on over to buymeacoffee.com/STTATF or follow the link in the show notes. And now, let's get into the show. Warning. Listening to this episode may cause your TBRs to grow in size. Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Stories, the True and the Fictional. I am one of your hosts, Jay Bryden. Welcome to the Indie Author Podcast, where we talk to authors from all around the world, but this time we're going to talk to someone who's in Australia. Shock horror. But before we bring her in, Ryan, are you living the dream still, man? Are you living the dream?
I am. I've got my shirt on and everything. I don't know who that person is, but someone else has bought my shirt so they can officially live the dream for free without having to pay royalties to me. So I appreciate that. So if you're listening, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm good, man. I'm good. As I mentioned to you off air, I went and saw Christian Bale's new movie, The Bride, today, which is a take on Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. But The Bride of Frankenstein wasn't the greatest. I guess because we've been spoiled with Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein on Netflix in the last 12 months, which was absolutely amazing. But yeah, it was probably about a 4 or 5 out of 10. Nothing to write home by. I have finished 2 books this week. I finished Dark Blooms by Molly McCarb, which is fantastic. And I finished Spider by Janelle Schiecke, which I got on release day. I read that in 2 nights because I think it was only 120 pages, so I got through that in a couple of nights. It wasn't as bad as I thought in terms of my massive arachnophobia. I think literally the first chapter was, I started with the first chapter. I'm like, okay, here we go. This is going to be great. I'm going to have to read this a chapter at a time. But then the rest of it was kind of a lot of assumed body horror. It's pretty much my worst nightmare. And then the last 2 chapters were absolutely insane. So again, another great book by Janelle Schiecke. If you haven't got it, get onto it. I think it's like $2.29 Australian. So probably less American, and I don't know about the Poms, but they'll probably have to pay a little bit more. But yeah, definitely a good read. But also Dark Bloom was fantastic, really good, post-apocalyptic zombie story. Probably one of the better ones I've read in a long time. So very, very good books that I finished this week.
Awesome. Yes, and guys, Janelle Schiecke will be on the podcast in a couple of weeks. Keep an eye out for that. It's going to be fun talking about Ryan's arachnophobia. It's going to be great. But yes, guys, as we mentioned, we do have merch. Someone bought Ryan's shirt. We said it loudly and proudly, and someone bought Ryan's shirt. So you can buy one of Ryan's shirts down below. Links are down there. Please check out our sponsors, Rebecca Kearsells and Martin Kearns, our honorary sponsors, Janelle Schiecke and Alexander Robb. All their links are down below. But now, without further ado, let's bring in our guest, Cathryn DeVries. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being an Australian. It's really good.
I actually don't have much control over that, but yeah.
I'm still getting used to the accent.
I know.
When we record, I'm used to it, either being a UK accent or an American accent. So it's quite weird to hear someone speaking the same accent and dialect as what we are speaking.
Yes.
I can change into Scottish if you like.
That sounded a little bit more Irish. It sounded a little bit Irish.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Well, me and Ryan are both blood Scots, so our heritage.
Yes, we are. Yeah, and it's funny. We have a mutual friend, Chris, who does very good voice work, but whenever he does a Scottish accent, it turns into an Indian accent for some reason. I don't know why. That's one thing he can't conquer.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. Could talk about his endeavors quite a bit. He's a funny guy. But we're not here to talk about our friend Chris. We're, we're here to ask the question, who is Cathryn DeVries?
Well, I'm a debut author of YA fantasy and science fiction. I'm a homeschooling mother and a former engineer with the Royal Australian Air Force and general all-round story nerd.
That's amazing. I have lots of questions. I live
Excellent.
near a RAF base, so I know all about the RAF base because for most of my life, our neighbor, that house there has been the go-to. Oh, someone's moved to the RAF from somewhere else. This is the house we're going to put them in. And it's just people cycling in and out because they're from the RAF.
Yep.
Uh, that's awesome. Um, brain fart. I literally have a million questions. Um,
Icebreakers.
That's it. Well, do you want to
Yeah.
jump right in? Okay. Well, we have
Yeah, mate.
mandatory icebreaker questions to get to know the author
Mhm,
because we find out that people will want to buy your books once they get to know you. It's a proven fact.
mhm.
It's been well established. So let's get going. I think it's your turn, Ryan,
Let's
if I'm
go.
correct.
Is okay. So what we're going to do, Catherine, is we're going to set the world for you. We basically live in an almost perfect world. So there's no war, there's no cruelty to humans or animals, there's no world hunger. Everyone earns the same amount of money. Every single person in the same world, in the whole world, has the same amount of money in their bank account. All of our politicians are honest and do what they promise. So, given that we do live in this almost perfect world, what is something that you would like to get rid of? So, essentially, what is a pet peeve of yours that you can say, look, we're going to get rid of that?
Hmm. That the first thing that pops to mind actually is advertising. I can't stand advertising. Um, yeah, because especially if we are in this perfect world, we won't even need it.
Yeah.
Because like, it'll all be like running smoothly. We will just like be using what we need and we don't need to be like brainwashed and turned into corporate
Yeah.
products. Because yeah, because that's what it turns us into. Yeah, we become the products with the how advertising is right now, and I can't stand it. Anyway.
It's just rudely interrupted. It's just like my pet peeve is
Yeah, and especially,
because I'm an author, I always get the Readsy ads on YouTube.
Oh,
And I'm
yep.
just going like, You don't make me no." You know, I just
yeah, and what annoys me about advertising is that now that streaming has been out for quite a while. Every streaming service now has, you have to pay more if you don't want to have ads. But
yeah,
if you want to, if the standard price that we've been paying for, you know, however many years, now you have to pay a little bit more. Like Prime, for example, it was a one
mm,
price all the time. Now you have to pay an extra $3 a month if you don't want ads.
yeah,
Netflix, now you have to pay this extra amount. Like
yeah,
every single streaming service, you have to pay extra just not to have ads
yeah,
all of a sudden in the last 12 months. And it just drives me insane. It's just a way of making more
yeah,
money. And especially on Prime, when you're in the middle of watching a movie and it gets to a good bit, and then it's like, budget direct insurance comes up, and
yeah.
and,
It
and the,
sucks you
the
out.
ad goes for like 3 minutes. Like the ads on Prime go for 3 minutes. It's like,
Yeah,
oh my God.
which is funny because we all grew up with ads.
Yeah, I know, but then we grew up, and then this magical thing called the internet came out, and I haven't watched live TV for about 10 years
Yeah,
because I download everything. Like because when the internet first came out, America was getting everything, years before what we were getting it.
yeah,
So obviously, yes, I would go online and download it from America and watch that, and because I wanted to be up to date. Now that we're up to date with America, I'm like, okay, I'll pay for the streaming services, and then the streaming services have ads, so it's like going back
back
to
to the
watching.
90s.
It's just
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't want to watch. So I end up downloading most of the stuff anyway because
And now they have
I
ads.
don't
No,
like ads. I think,
no,
no, thank God they don't.
not yet.
But again, it's like I'm not advocating piracy for whatever reason, but yeah, you do what you like. But the website that I get all my stuff from, I have to pay a monthly fee if I don't want to have ads before watching or downloading every single
Yeah, there you go.
episode or movie or anything. So it's gone insane. I think Disney Plus is the only service that doesn't have ads. And I only know that because I've been watching a lot of it because I've been watching, the old Scrubs show and the new Scrubs as well. So there've been no ads on that. So, but everywhere else is just ads.
I think Ryan agrees with you, Catherine.
I get that impression. I get that impression.
Ew,
All right.
freaking hate ads.
What's something on your bucket list?
Um, several, oh gosh, got to be about 20 years ago now. I took a trip to New Zealand. And I would actually love to go back to New Zealand but do a specific Lord of the Rings sightseeing tour. Yeah, it wasn't a thing then. We went to a couple of the film set play not sets, but the locations.
Yeah.
But they weren't set up. It was just the tour guide just said, "Oh, this is where they shot this scene."
Yeah.
And I would just love to go to Hobbiton and all the other places that are now fully done up and just immerse myself in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Ryan's smiling because he's
Yeah.
been there and done that.
I did it 13 years ago. 14 years ago. Me and my dad went to New Zealand. We went to the North Island. We did a specific Lord of the Rings tour. We got to go to Hobbiton and go inside Bilbo's house and got to have a beer in the Green Dragon Inn because that was when it was turned into an actual pub and was serving food and drink. Also in Wellington, Peter Jackson has there's a museum for Peter Jackson, so it's got all set pieces, props and everything from all of his movies, like District 9, Lord of the Rings, obviously, Tintin, all of his movies that have pretty much most of the props from those movies. And then we went to Mount Doom, which is, I think, on the way from in between Rotorua and New Plymouth. Is actually Mount Doom. It's not called Mount Doom, it's called something else, but it is actually the mountain that CGI'd all the.
They didn't actually rename it. How could they not actually rename it? That's just terrible.
I think it would be a much bigger tourist attraction if they renamed it. But
Yeah.
I reckon the greatest tourist
it's very good.
the greatest tourist thing they could do is sell rings at the bottom of it, and when the people can climb at the top and throw them.
Throw their ring in Mount Doom.
Why not?
You know what? If they did that, and even if they charged like $100 for it, I would have bought that piece of plastic ring and walked up and chucked it in.
And you know what I do? I want to go over there and plant a sign that says like eagle rides, giant eagle rides.
Yeah, but it definitely is a great thing to do. So I highly recommend it.
There you go.
Oh, hopefully I get to do it one day, but
Definitely is. I think the Hobbiton tour was 50 New Zealand dollars, which I can't remember the conversion rate, but definitely worth it. I grew up on the Lord of the Rings books and the Hobbit and the movies, and just to be able to walk where they filmed that movie was just phenomenal. So definitely a good piece of history. All right, next question. Jamie's going to bring up a visual aid. Okay, so you're familiar with the Mount Rushmore. Normally we say we're talking to Americans and we can go, you're familiar with this monument, but Mount Rushmore in America, 4 famous American presidents. So based on that, what is on your Mount Rushmore of television shows? So it can be any genre, any age period. just in your opinion, what you think the top 4 TV shows are.
Right. Okay. This is going to absolutely shock you because I don't watch TV.
Oh, no.
But however, I do know of some TV shows and I have watched some series, but we didn't watch them as TV shows. We watched them on DVDs. So Avatar: Last Airbender.
Cool.
Awesome show. I also love Bluey. I don't watch it, but I've seen my kids watch it and I love
And they
it.
love it, yeah.
Yeah. But I'll add some movies to fill in for the
We'll allow it. We'll
the
allow
lack
it.
of TV shows. Obviously Lord of the Rings would be one of them. K-pop Demon Hunters
Ooh.
for a recent one. That was an awesome one. And the Star Wars originals.
Okay. Okay. I do have a question. When you're saying Avatar: The Last Airbender, are you talking the Netflix live
Yes.
adaptation?
No,
Okay,
no,
cool. Yeah.
the
cartoon.
original animated
Anime.
cartoon.
Yeah,
Yes.
perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. I grew up on that in the prime time of anime. So Dragon Ball Z, The Last Airbender, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and Pokemon was mine when I was a little kid growing up. So yeah, I can agree with Avatar definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I look, if you're not a TV watcher, we will allow the movies onto those two categories. But yeah, look, I get it. I get it. Like it's Lord of the Rings would be on pretty much anyone, any smart, intelligent person would have that on their top of all time. So
Yep.
I haven't watched K-pop Demon Hunters. 2 of our friends have, and they said it's really good, but I haven't had
I
a
watched
chance
it.
to watch it. Oh, you have 2, 3 of my friends have watched it then.
Yeah. No, my thing is, look, I don't think the music's as good as people make it out to be. I think the music's a little overrated. I'm not saying it's terrible. I'm just saying that when I watch it, I don't leave it with the song stuck in my head. You know? I grew up on Disney. Every time I've left a Disney film, I've been singing those songs. They're in my head like an earworm. But that's just me. Like the story was phenomenal. I love the whole story. But
Well, in saying that, like our 2 other friends that have watched it are like me. They're massive anime guys,
yeah,
so I get why they said it's really good because obviously it is quite similar to a lot of the anime around that time. So I am keen to watch it, but
no, it's a good
I
watch.
just yeah, awesome.
So what's your zombie apocalypse plan?
Not something I've really put a lot of thought into, but I live on top of a mountain. So, like, I'm kind of banking on the fact that they won't get up here.
Mm.
However, if they do, I guess I would try and like lure them off a waterfall or cliff. And yeah, yeah. I can't really think of anything better than that, like off the top of my head.
Yeah. No, you're like me. I live in the mountains. And everyone's plan is if it isn't going to Bunnings, it's coming to my house. So I might be screwed because everyone's coming to my house.
You have to do a check at the door, make sure no one's bitten before they enter.
Yes.
That's it.
Awesome. All right, question number 5. Now, I can't believe we have to ask this question, but are you familiar with the Back to the Future movies?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
I have to ask that question because it used to be Bill and Ted from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and then all these young people that we have on the podcast don't have any idea of what Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is. So I still do like to ask the question. Okay, so seeing that you know what Back to the Future is, Dr. Emmett Brown leaves his DeLorean parked in your driveway. Where or when are you going?
Yeah, this is a tough one. Because there's lots of times and places I would enjoy observing unseen, but I wouldn't actually want to be walking around in those and getting involved in stuff. So I would probably love to, for things that I actually would love to get involved in, like I would love to hang out with like the mystics in the desert, like around 350 AD. escaping from, empire and just doing their own thing out in the desert.
Yeah.
Or um, I wouldn't mind being with the early Vikings in Iceland.
Mm.
I think that would be pretty cool. They would probably be, yeah, somewhere where I could get in there and do stuff and, feel like I wasn't gonna be killed.
Yeah.
Um, and I would learn something. I'd learn something
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, I can get behind that. The Vikings are a popular one. I think we've had a few people say that over the course of doing this
Yeah.
question. I think that'd be very, very interesting in going back and seeing how accurate we see it all in movies
Yeah.
and everything like that, and seeing how actually accurate everything is.
Well,
Yes. Although,
not.
that it would be kind of that would be really freak them out, I'd say, to have a DeLorean, just like, cruising. I'm not sure how that would go
They
down,
probably
but
hack it.
yeah.
Well, there is that Jim Caviezel movie where he is like on a spaceship and he's transporting some alien creature, I think, and then it crash lands on Earth, but in Viking days.
Ooh.
And then
Really?
and then the Vikings have to fight this alien creature, and and no, Jim Caviezel helps them. Um, it's fun. I think it's called Outlander, but it's yeah that I think it's a very Viking tropey thing.
Oh, okay, Outlander.
Yeah, it's like one of the early monster flicks. It's really cool.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um,
The only Outlander I've heard of is that super
the
sappy
romantic one.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
I'm like, really? That show?
Yeah. Yeah, it ends with Jim Caviezel landing and fighting an alien. Yeah. Yeah. You never know. Like,
Yeah.
some shows have weird endings. Like the ever disturbing remember the dinosaurs show from the 90s where it's all puppets and not the mama?
Mm.
Um do you know how that ended? Because the show
With
about
with all of
dinosaurs.
them dying, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a family happy, dinosaur show, and it ends with like with the ice age, and they're all dead. It's just like, wow, that
Wow.
that got dark. Super
No, I
dark.
was expecting you to say because it was called Outlander, it ends with Jim Caviezel making out with all the Vikings and
No.
having a nice romantic life with the Vikings.
Yeah, so the lovey-dovey version. No, that would be the alien. The alien lands. It's like, hello. This has gotten weird. Okay, so you've passed the icebreakers. You've passed the icebreakers.
Mhm.
Now we get to learn about you and your writing journey. The question me and Ryan like to ask, because we are comic book nerds and we love origin stories, what is your author origin story?
Cool. Yeah, it was kind of crazy because it happened completely by accident. My eldest daughter, who was about 14 at the time, she was really getting into D&D and wanted our family to play Dungeons and Dragons with her. And so we bought the initial starter kit and like I volunteered as DM initially, and we were playing for a while, and then she decided she wanted to write a campaign. Like she kind of got the
Yeah.
hang of how campaigns happened, and she was really keen to make her own campaign. And because I've always encouraged her writing, and she's a really excellent writer, very creative. Like, her stories were pretty phenomenal. Like, and yeah, so I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do that. So then I swapped roles and I became a character in her campaign, and she was the DM. And then our other family members made characters too, and we were playing this campaign for a few months, and it was a lot of fun. Um, and I just had this spur of the moment decision of I'm going to chronicle our gameplay just for fun,
Mm.
because I don't want to forget this, because we were going through a pretty rough patch as a family overall. This was like a bright spot
Mm.
in in a really tough time. And I didn't want to forget it. I wanted to remember the laughs that we had. So just started chronicling the game. But first of all, I had to chronicle my character's backstory because she kept on asking me about my character's backstory because that was very important for the the gameplay. Anyway, so I had to do all that first, and like was doing this for about I don't know, 3 months or something of chronicling, and I was like up to like 80,000 words or something like that. And like it started to like dawn on me that I was writing a book. Um and yeah, I didn't really quite know how I felt about that because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so and not a bit of, I'm a total perfectionist. Um, and, and so like if I'm gonna do something, like I want to, do it properly. So this, yeah, I didn't know whether I wanted to turn it into a book and have a thing out there in the world that can be like torn to shreds by
Yeah.
everyone. Because like the things that were coming out in the writing were like it was some of the tough stuff that our family was dealing with. So like I'm processing stuff, through the writing of this. Um anyway, yeah. So but I just kept on doing it because I was enjoying it. Like I loved writing when I was a kid, all through high school. I was, big into stories. I even like wrote a really bad, now that I look back on it, Disney screenplay. Um and that I was like full on ready to submit until it's like, oh no, we don't take outside submissions. It's
Yeah.
like, oh no, that's dream dead.
Yeah.
So but yeah, anyway, then, life happened and adulting happened, and I was just kind of encouraging my kids writing then,
Yeah.
thinking that that part of my life was over. So, it wasn't, it was my, like, I was always encouraging my daughter's writing, and then suddenly tables are turned and she's saying, this is, you're really good at this, Mum. Like, you should keep doing this. You should keep going. You should make this into a book. Um, and so, yeah, she's encouraging me. And I got to, I don't know, something like 320,000 words, something like that. Something like quite massive.
Wow.
Um, and that was sort of like the first draft. And I showed it to a friend, kind of thinking like, okay, be honest with me. Like, am I nuts? Like, is there something here worth pursuing, or, just tell me the truth. And because she's a big fantasy fan as well. So she read through the first draft, which, looking back on it, was absolutely awful. It was terrible. But she said, no, there is, this is great. Like, there is something here, like, worth developing. Like, she saw the potential in it. And so, yeah, I started learning how to write, like, actually properly. And this draft of, went through so many revisions, and one friend suggested, how about you break it up into a trilogy? And it's like, that's a good idea. So then I had to learn how to do that. I learned all about three-act structure, and broke it into a trilogy. And then I had to, make each book like, into its own proper book. And yeah, so it's been a bit of a wild, a bit of a wild ride. But like, yes, it totally happened by accident. But once I had a finished story there, I decided, okay, I've got to learn how to do this on purpose now.
Mm.
And so, yeah, I set about researching storycraft and, how to write fight scenes, and how to, all this kind of stuff. Because if I was going to put this out in the world, it had to be like the best I could possibly make it. And actually, that trilogy now has been picked up by a small publisher,
Oh, wow.
and it's coming out next year, or the first book anyway.
Awesome.
Yes.
Amazing.
That's well, me and Jamie are massive D&D nerds, so we anything that gets more people, I mean, anything that comes from D&D
Yeah.
is just fantastic. So it definitely, will be high on my list. But it's such a good story to hear, from a small family game of D&D, something that your daughter wanted to do, and now you've got this trilogy of books coming out.
Yeah.
It's such a good story, and I think that's one of the better origin stories we've had. I love family orientated stuff, and the fact that something that started off as a family playing a game just turned into all of this. It's just so good.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've spoken to a few people that use D&D to, create backstories for the characters, and it's a really fun way to build worlds and build, stories. It's
Yeah.
just the imagination.
Yeah, it was such a fun way to write a first draft. And like it happened almost effortlessly because
Mm,
I was writing forward all the time. Like I was putting the flesh on
yeah,
the bones of her story. So I was just always writing forward to the next bit.
yeah,
And it was such a fun, yeah, it was a really fun way. And just like, having the D20 outcomes, like
yeah,
throwing like it didn't have to, like, it just made it really fun
yeah,
to have the ups and downs and the plot
yeah,
twists and all that kind of thing. I mean, a lot of the original gameplay had to be cut because
yeah,
it just didn't really quite fit with the
yeah,
new story. But like I've kept remnants of it, and just like little echoes and
yeah,
and things. So it's just for partly for the nostalgia value, and but also because they like I made them genuinely fit with
yeah,
yeah, with it, and it was just such a fun way. I mean,
yeah,
not necessarily repeatable for me now,
yeah, yeah,
but such a fun way to rediscover my love of writing.
yeah. Now,
Yeah.
when we read your books, can we tell if someone's rolled a one? Like, can we just go, oh, this scene, oh, someone rolled a one. Critical fail. Is this where they critically failed?
Possibly, yes. You might be able. I can't remember whether we were pretty nice to each other as
Mm,
DMs. I think,
yeah.
even if we may have like fudged numbers sometimes just to make sure characters weren't killed. Um,
Everybody does it. Everybody does it.
but
Yeah, I
yes,
think
you will definitely see failure moments.
yeah, I think our DM does that to us a lot.
Yeah.
Like I won't want to know how many times he's actually made it so that our characters that we put so much work and effort into haven't died horribly. I don't want to know how many times he's actually looked at what he's rolled and gone, oh, okay, I'm just going to let this one pass.
Probably as many times as he's cancelled a campaign before we finish it,
Oh, God, yeah.
which is all the
Notorious
time.
for that. Yeah,
He,
he's
he, he,
notorious. We just get into a campaign, and because we play once a month, so once a month the guys come around to my place and we spend a whole day, so like 8 9 hours campaign, and it's continuing on every month. And the amount of times where we've gotten to a really good part, and then he's been watching something else, and he's gone, I want to create a campaign based on that. We're like, what about all this?
yeah.
He's like, no, this.
And it's worse because we cut off and then we come back to this new campaign that he's created, and he's like taken our characters from our old campaigns and be like, this is where they are now. And I go like, why can't I decide where they are now? You're taking our characters, you're cutting their story short, and you're going, here's a new campaign. I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's why like the campaign we're playing right now, I don't care about my character at all. I'm just like, whatever, he's gonna disappear soon because we're gonna have a new campaign.
Yeah.
I will tell you this, Ryan, before I forget. Uh, I've decided that next campaign we play, I'm just gonna start a new character, and then anytime Chris switches the campaign, I'm taking that character and just bringing him along. I don't care if it's a different genre. I don't care what it is. This character is coming over here. I'm gonna play the same character every single time, just to annoy him.
Oh man, that would definitely annoy the crap out of me.
Yeah, yep, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Um, all right, let's do some stuff like I don't know, talk about your books. Um,
Mhm.
I did some pre research. So you've got a short story called "When a Slave," and
Yep,
then
yep.
you've
When a
got
slave falls, yep.
and I can bring. Do you want to talk about that one? I can bring it up.
Just briefly, one of the first stories that I wrote. I entered into a short story competition and it won. Um, so yeah, that was really amazing. It was reasonably decent prize money too. Like I was
Mm,
shocked. I was really shocked. So what this one like it's basically a lover's meet short story. I want to develop it into a full novel
mm,
one day, but at the moment it's a free reader magnet that people can read when they sign up for my newsletter. Um, yeah, just kind of like Jane Eyre cross Aladdin kind of
cool.
vibes. Yeah. So, but just a short story. And
Yep.
then I've got another short story, Lightning Hunter, which is actually a non-spoiler epilogue for the fantasy trilogy.
Mm,
So it's an after story of what happened to one of the characters that was played by my youngest daughter.
mm,
And yeah, it's definitely connected. It's in the world. There's like Easter eggs, I guess, in there, but no spoilers.
mm.
So that's another one that I offer free to people who want to come onto my email list. Yeah, and the one that's out at the moment is Son of Osivirius, which is a science fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that one released a few weeks ago. And I was like blown away. It actually hit number one hot new release
Oh
in
wow.
its category on Amazon. Um,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So that was pretty trippy. But yeah, this one I'm so proud of this book because I it's gonna sound silly, but I wrote it all by myself.
Yeah.
Like like from the initial idea to the end. Like this one was totally me. This one was me proving to myself that I am actually an author.
Yeah.
I can write. My imagination is intact. I don't need to lean on my daughter for ideas. Yeah, and it's got 5 award seals to its name now,
Wow.
which is also very cool. Um, and it's only a novella. It's pretty short. Um, but it's like I all the skills that I learnt uh in learning how to write the trilogy sort of on purpose, I put into this book.
Mm,
And I deliberately initially I was aiming for an 8,000 word short story that I could submit to Aurealis magazine. The first draft came out at 18,000.
wow.
So it's
Okay.
like, well, I overshot that a little
Yeah.
bit, but then it's this really awkward length. What do I do with it?
Yeah.
So I decided to develop it into a novella. It's now just shy of 50,000 words.
Nice.
Um, and it's as long as it needs to be. I deliberately wanted to keep it fast-paced and movie length,
Yep.
like movie length feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and so, and because I was kind of like consolidating knowledge, um, all my writing craft knowledge, writing it, I've also made an additional resource that goes with it, which is like turning this novella into a worked example of how to write long form. For anyone interested in learning how to write long
Yeah.
form, it just seemed like the perfect project because it's short and movie length,
Yeah.
but it's still long form, and you have to go through all the exact same steps
Yeah.
of writing a much longer work, but it's condensed into something that's digestible. Like, it's just something,
Yeah.
another spur of the moment decision that I
Yeah.
decided to do. How about I take all my planning documents, I annotate them, and I turn this into a worked example for anyone who's aspiring. Um, so that they don't have to go through all the um like I don't know, the pain and the struggle and of the finding out and all the, I mean, they will have to anyway, but it'll be a bit more linear. Anyway, yeah. So, but the story itself, it's kind of a little bit like the first Avatar movie in terms of vibes. So, like, it's in a world kind of a bit like Pandora, but it's its own thing. But there are these giant flying cats that sort of steal the show. And so it's a science I call it a science fantasy because the it's got this like electromagnetic magic. So there's science behind it, but the way it kind of acts is in a more magical way. Kind of like, I call Star Wars a science fantasy because the Force is basically magic.
Magic, yeah.
So it's a similar kind of feel. This is not hard science fiction. And so yeah, you got this guy. He finds himself in enemy territory, which is the rebels, and he was kind of sent out to betray them, to betray their location because the colony didn't know where they were. But then he gets looked after by them, and then he starts actually like seeing their way of life and caring for them and questioning all the assumptions that he's been told. And then he's got to work out what he wants to do about that. Because he's got his family back home that like are relying on him to come back and help them out of the trouble that they're in. And then he's got this new family that have adopted him. And yeah, so there's a lot of tension in there. There's a romantic tension. There's betrayal, whole lot of stuff going on. And there's these awesome flying cats that mind link with the humans and just add a completely different perspective again. And I'm really proud of these creatures. Actually, they're just one of those little serendipity moments that came as I was drafting. Because I knew they were huge and majestic and flying and stuff, but it wasn't until I was actually writing the draft that I discovered the essence of them and what made them special, and then I knew my climax. And I knew exactly how this was going to end, and it was going to be a very different kind of ending to your typical science fiction book. I won't spoil it, obviously, but yeah, just it's a very non-typical ending, but very satisfying for that's the feedback I'm getting anyway. So this is not just me saying it's satisfying. I've had readers, giving reviews, and they saying they love the ending, and So anyway, that's my book that's out at the moment, and then of course I've got the trilogy that's coming out next year with the small press.
I'm going to guess the ending, and this is my guess. I don't know. I haven't read it. I probably will read it. But my guess is that all the cats land on the top of the towers and push everything off it, because that's what cats do.
That reminds me of the Lego Ninjago movie. the cat coming in and just...
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about giving cats wings. I think that's like a terrifying thing when we know what cats are like,
Hey, as someone who owns two amazing cat children, I would happily have
Give
my
them wings?
cats have wings.
Really?
My cats are very well behaved. They don't push anything off the benches, or contrary to popular belief, they don't push anything. I think the only thing my cat, well, I suppose mine are both 12 now, so they're kind of middle-aged.
Yeah.
They don't, but the only annoying thing my cat do is my cat Mavis, when I'm playing PS5, will jump up onto my lap because I'm not paying attention to her, and I'll have to try and maneuver the controller around her, and she'll just sit up in my face all the time when I'm trying to play. So, but Yeah, well, I mean, I bought it already before I even knew about flying cats, and now that there's flying cats involved, I'm all for it.
Mm, there you go.
Cool. They definitely do steal the show. Every review mentions the flying cats.
Yep. So why cats? Are you a
Why
Um,
cat
not?
person?
yeah, what actually I'm a bird person. Um,
Ah,
but so that I guess maybe that fed into it somehow. But like I love dragons, as you know, as a fantasy lover, I
mm,
love dragons. But I wanted to do something different from dragons because
nice. Yep.
dragons are everywhere. And I just wanted to be a little bit different. And I also love big cats.
I
Like
love big cats, so
I
yeah.
love big cats. And so sticking wings on a big cat,
Yeah.
just like, yeah,
Makes
why
sense.
not?
It just makes sense. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm much alike. I like doing things differently. Thinking outside the box. Some of the books I've written, I mean, I did an eagle wolf hybrid, but there's no wings. I made it clear, no wings, no wings, because wings are, everybody does wings. I want to do, and it's like a wolf with claws and a beak, and it's yeah. Um, I like to create my own. Um, yeah. So, how'd you go about the cover art? Is it something that you did yourself, or did you contract someone out to do it for you?
Yeah, I actually went through 100 covers.
All right, yeah, cool.
So yeah, they did my cover, and I'm yeah, really happy with how it turned out. I had a few iterations,
Yeah,
but they got the concept pretty much straight away, and
mm,
but I just sort of swapped out the city that they picked for a different city, just to give the I loved the orange
yeah,
and blue, and I just wanted to bring out that orange and blue contrast more. Uh, and then, yeah, initially they accidentally put the villain on the cover as well with this group of people. I was like, no, he's not there.
he's not there.
He's not there. Yeah, but and they made the cat like a little house cat size, and I'm like,
No,
no,
yeah.
much
Lion,
bigger than that.
lion. Yeah,
But yeah, so a few little adjustments, but yeah, like I was thrilled
yeah.
with how it came out. It's a beautiful cover.
It's very intriguing. I'm a huge fan of not seeing the characters' faces, like in any book. I
Yeah,
love the looking away. Um, because it's got that mystery, it's got that wonder. Like, what do they look like?
Mm.
And it helps because I don't know if you like doing this, but I like giving the reader oh, the ability to visualize what they want to visualize when it comes to characters.
Yeah, I tend to keep descriptions fairly minimal
Yeah.
so that yeah, people can visualize as they like. Although I did commission an artist to do character art. So if
Cool.
people want a definite picture in their head, they can have that
You can
too.
turn around.
Yeah. So I've got so the I don't know, I use the character art all the time in
Mm,
my like on my Instagram and stuff. And actually I've got an art freebie that goes along with this book too. So people who read the book can also download the art freebie, and it goes through the commissioning process that I had with my artist of, how we went from um, reference pictures
yeah.
to the final render. And actually, my youngest daughter also did botanical art
Oh,
for the illustrated edition. So I've got a standard edition and an
yeah.
illustrated edition that I did with
Cool.
Kickstarter. So that was really cool having because even though I wrote this book all by myself
Yeah.
with my editor. Uh, it was still nice to involve my daughters on the art side of things because
Yeah.
they're great artists as well. So it still feels like a family project
Yeah.
because I've got their artwork in there as well.
So you're going to be writing like a D&D campaign for this book as well? Is that something you do?
Probably not
No.
because it's already because the story's been told.
Yeah.
So but like it if if people wanted to like make a D&D world
Mm,
with these kind of characters
yeah.
and in there, Like that would totally work. And I'd love that. That'd be amazing.
Ryan wants to play a character that can ride on the back of a flying cat
Hell yeah.
into battle.
Hell yeah.
Do the
And
land.
I would design it just like mine and just enhance the size.
Yeah.
And that way my cat can, because me and my wife, we don't have children, we have animal children. So I was like, my cats are my children, and you can't see her at the moment, but one of my cats, Mavis, she is literally my shadow. She is literally sitting just to the right of me, like just off camera. And when you see my hand sort of not in front of me, it's because I'm patting her, because she will jump on me if I don't pat her every so often. And yeah,
Well,
but I would definitely make my cat winged cat per thing based off mine.
I actually think I would love to see a house cat with wings now because Mavis would be flying above your head right now. Just going.
She would be side and everything, just saying, pay attention to me, pay attention to me. But yeah.
Crazy aside, but I searched flying cat on the internet, and I saw this video of this guy who like had trained his like kittens. He put parachutes on them, and
Wow.
they actually jumped off the stairs, and they're like
Float
floating
down.
down in these parachutes. Like,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
yeah. So
I swear that wasn't me, but I will definitely be trying that. I'll be trying that now.
Have you
yeah.
have you have you seen all the cat AI videos now going around?
Oh, they're
They're
amazing.
everywhere. You've got cats that are playing banjos on the front deck.
Mhm.
Like they're going, but and the owner runs out. Well, what are you doing in the middle of the night playing? Like, "Meow." And
Yeah,
then
there's those ones, and then there's like Star Wars ones
yeah,
where one
wearing a
is
cloak.
the Obi-Wan and one is the Anakin Skywalker
Yeah.
reenacting the higher ground theme.
Hmm.
Um, I saw a Lord of the Rings one where
Yeah.
there's a cat version of Gandalf during the Balrog scene. Um, and then now there's a lot of them that are coming up on my feed are um, the old Bruce Lee movie
Yeah.
kind of martial arts, kung fu karate movies
It's a,
where the characters are fighting cats and the cats are speaking in Japanese, and they're like fighting the martial arts experts. It's so that is what AI was invented for. None of this other stuff, but to purely
cats,
make
cat videos.
cats do awesome things.
The last one I saw was a cat fighting Godzilla.
Yeah, I saw that. There's one where there's a cat and Godzilla, one to twin merge together and become like this massive cat dinosaur hybrid fighting
All wrong.
Ultraman.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
it's amazing. Anyway, this isn't the cat podcast.
It may as well be. But we
Well,
have flying cats.
yeah. What are you working on now, Catherine? What's the current project?
Okay, current project is book 2 of the trilogy.
Hmm.
So it needed a massive rewrite because I I learned how to write rewriting book 1 to get it
Hmm.
to publishable standard. So now book 2, when I went back and looked at it, it like my writing has improved massively since
Yeah.
the time I last finished that draft. So that's what I'm currently working on. I'm rewriting that. I starting on developmental edits next week, actually,
Cool.
for book 2, and yeah, that is my big priority right now. That is my big project, and I tend to only work on one thing at a time. I'm not one of these authors that has multiple projects on the go. I like
Mm.
to stick with one and get it finished. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I try to be like that, but Ryan keeps going, "Hey, you should do this. Hey, you should do that." So now I'll do a manuscript and then I'll give it to some beta readers and then I'll do something else while they're beta reading and then I'll go back and it's good to be able to have a break and then go back and then you can have fresh eyes on it. Um,
Oh
So do
yeah.
you, Kath? Cathryn, do you have a rough or a release date for book one?
Yep. So the Kickstarter is going to be in February next year. And then the retail release is going to be in October.
Okay.
So yeah.
So October 2027 is when we can expect book one.
Jeez,
Yes.
2027. I'm like 2027 is so far away, and actually now we're in 2026. Just like
Yeah,
where
it's actually not that far away. It's scary.
it is so.
I mean, we're halfway through March tomorrow. So
Yes.
I mean,
By this time next year, I will have a Kickstarter campaign done and dusted for this book
Wow.
one.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
no, I definitely will be getting on board that. I mean, the fact that it's D&D based, based off a D&D campaign is immediately jumping out at
Grabbing
me.
you.
So
Yep.
yeah, 100%. So I mean, thank God we live in a world with social media. Otherwise, my stupid goldfish brain would forget about it between now and then. But I can follow you on social media and be able to see it once it comes out. But yeah, so I don't know. We've only really had a couple of people that have actually, worked on not worked on a book, but used Kickstarter as a
Yeah.
sort of a launching pad for their book. So how did you come? Was that something that the publisher suggested to you, or is that was something that you just decided to go? You know what? This is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah, it was actually I had seen Kickstarters that from other authors that I follow on Instagram and stuff. When the publisher set up our initial meeting to say we want to offer you a deal, part of the discussion was around doing a Kickstarter. Because they're a small press, they're quite flexible and innovative, and wanted to do um, they wanted to do things that not a lot of publishers were, like the bigger, the big
Yeah.
ones, because they could see, because it's a romantic fantasy, like that is just so huge on Kickstarter. So it's just like riding the wave, and they had the flexibility to actually do that. And they were running a Kickstarter for another of their authors. It was like the first one that they were trialing. Um, and they said, we would love to do this with you. Are you keen? And I'm like, yeah, of course I am. And so then I had Son of Osirius was in like second draft stage at that point in time. And I thought to myself, I do not want the special edition of the trilogy to be the first Kickstarter I ever do.
Hmm.
I need practice. Like I need a trial run on a smaller project. So that's what made me just go all in on getting Son of Osirius fully revised, edited, cover. It came together so quickly. Like I'd been working on the trilogy for like 5 years before it got to publishable stage. Um, Son of Osirius went from first draft to Kickstarter in about 6 months. It
Wow.
was just like, it was insane. Like, thank goodness it was a short book, and that made it possible. But yeah, I wanted to have a go at Kickstarter on a lower stakes campaign. I wanted to learn the ropes. I wanted to be like knowledgeable about how Kickstarter works, so that I could be a valuable contributor to this the much bigger campaign that I super want to be successful. um and yeah, so I did it, and it was big learning curve. I'm so glad I did it on this lower stakes project. I funded, I made 3 times my funding amount, which
Wow.
was, so it was successful. I mean, I set a low bar. I made it easy on myself. I didn't do offset printing. I just did
Yeah.
print on demand. So I made it as easy on myself as possible. And it was, yeah, a really good decision. I'm just so glad I went that way. Then I had early readers of the book as well. And I had some I printed off copies that I could then take to fantasy conventions, and like I learned how to sell books in person, which I actually really love doing.
Mm.
Funnily enough, I didn't think I would. I thought, oh, this is gonna feel icky, but no, it didn't at all. I just
Mm.
loved being at a fantasy convention selling
Yeah.
books. Yeah, so there's all these sort of side benefits as well that you know, because I really had to get into the printing side of publishing. I'd never done a print run before or
Mm.
anything like that. So, yeah, just an amazing, um, just an amazing experience, and really, really valuable for learning. Yeah, like basically having a trial run.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I don't like I don't like going into something blind.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this was, I think just Kickstarter is just like a really good launch pad for certain genres. It doesn't work for all genres.
Yeah.
But for, I think for fantasy and romance, it's
Yeah.
excellent. There's just lots of people who are really generous and
Yeah.
like willing to spend like willing to support authors.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love that about the platform.
Oh,
People.
100%. I love Kickstarter. I've supported quite a fair few different comic book authors and independent authors over, the last 10, 15 years. And I find that it's just, I mean, I think the most I've ever spent is about $120, which has been, a super. It was for a graphic novel, and it was a signed copy plus digital and all this kind of thing. It's a fantastic thing to do because, it's only $120 to me, but you get enough people contributing that amount and getting to it, and you're going to cover all your costs
Mm,
be able to make a bit of a profit on it as well. I think it's a fantastic tool for authors, for a lot of different kind of like movie producers and
mm,
TV producers, and a lot of role playing games get built through Kickstarter as well. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
yep.
Um, we're gonna play a game in a second, but first we have a new segment where we're asking you for advice. Maybe how, or I guess anything that you want to talk about when it comes to writing. Maybe something that you would have, like to tell your younger self when you started writing, or if there's someone out there that's up and coming. If you have you got any tips?
Um, yes. Um, I wish I had have invested in myself a bit earlier in the journey. I was trying to I was trying to keep everything as free and low cost as I
Yeah.
possibly could to start with, which is, I mean, it's probably sensible.
Mm.
But I I when I did finally invest in myself, um, my rate of improvement was exponential. Um, and like I'm very glad that I discovered the story grid early on in my craft search. That has just been a phenomenal resource, and they have a lot of free stuff too. So I would definitely recommend anyone aspiring check them out. Um, they, yeah, I have not come across a story structure method more comprehensive, and
Okay.
that's how that's that's how I I use everything they teach
Wow.
to write my books. Uh, I I'm like I'm not a planner. Like I don't plan in advance. So you can use these tools. I use them to reverse outline. so I guess another tip is to like find the way that you do things. For me, um, I need a, a a point and an ending. Like I need a reason I'm writing this book, and I need to know where it's headed.
Yeah.
And then I can write. And then I don't the structure now for me comes more intuitively because I'm just so immersed in it. But you can layer on the structure afterwards. That's what I discovered. So even if I mean, maybe there are some drafts that you just write and they're a draw draft. They never
Yeah.
see the light of day again.
Mm.
But I I think that if you really want, like, if there's something about that particular manuscript that is just really holding on to you and not letting you go, I really recommend trying to layer on structure afterwards. Work out what it is that this is special about this story and re-engineer it
Mm.
to um to get it to work.
Yeah.
That's what happened with my book. My book, it's totally possible. Like my book one, I had to completely re-engineer it.
Mm.
Draft one rewrite.
Yeah.
Um, and but now it is the story that it was always meant to be.
Yeah.
The story that I was trying to tell. Um, and so yeah, that's probably two tips in one. Like,
No, that's
invest
all
in
right.
yourself,
Yeah.
and just keep in mind that you can re-engineer a story.
Yeah.
If there's something in it that's really grabbing onto you and won't let go, and like to believe that that is possible and that it's not necessarily a
Yeah.
dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can always draw, put something in the drawer and come back to it later. That's what I've got a manuscript that I love the premise, I love the characters, but it needs a lot more work, so I've got to come back to it. I'm doing other stuff now, but I'm going to come back to it and give it its, what it's, what it deserves, I guess.
Mm, mm.
It's my first stab at fantasy, so I thought I was ready, and I'm not. Um, all right, you still there, Ryan?
Yep,
Ryan,
still here.
you're still there. Your face has gone away. That's all. We're gonna play a game. I think you're gonna be good at this. A lot of people freak out, but you've done D&D, so I think you'll be all right.
Okay.
It's a bit of an improv game. I'll bring up the graph so you know what's going on. This is the ever popular game of story pitch, where we have a setting, a genre, a main character's profession, and a crazy addition. And then you're going to give us a number between 1 and 12 for each of the categories. We're going to tell you what it is because me and Ryan have a graph. And then you've got to pitch us a story. It can be as in depth as you want.
Oh no.
For those that may not know, this is how the He-Man cartoon was pitched on the spot. So there's 2 rounds, so call this first one a practice round. It's pre-recorded, so we can give you some thinking time to make people think you're quick on your feet if you want. If you want,
Oh yeah, because I'm not quick on my feet at all.
you'll be surprised because we have not had a bad one of these ever. Um, quite frankly. So when you're ready, 4 numbers between 1 and 12, and you can go 1 1 1 1 1 if you want, or 2 2 2. Like everything's different. It's free
Okay.
range. So
All right. How about um 3, 2, 7, 12?
3 2 7 12.
Huh?
I'm sensing some overlap. We get this one a lot. Your setting
Really?
is a suburban cul-de-sac.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Your genre is sci-fi.
Oh, something you're
Okay.
familiar with a little bit. Okay, your main character is a rock star.
Okay.
We get this a lot.
And your crazy addition, which is something or someone that has to appear in the story. No, even if it's just a quick pop in, pop out. And your crazy addition is dinosaurs.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I'll give you some more thinking time by letting our listeners and viewers know it is a science fiction set in the cul-de-sac. Your main character is a rock star, and there's got to be dinosaurs there.
All right. Okay, let me think. All right. So we're in this cul-de-sac,
Mhm.
and main character is doing some serious riffs on his guitar. The neighbors are um yelling.
Dinosaurs.
No, no, no. The neighbors the neighbors are not happy.
Yeah.
Um, but all of a sudden it goes really quiet because the riff that he's played um like unlocks this secret time travel harmonic,
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
and he disappears back like several million years, and he goes rocking with the dinosaurs.
See? Brilliant. I love it. I love it already. I love it already. I can see it. Just see? It's that simple. That was pretty quick too. Um,
I like it. I like it a lot.
sold. You are approved.
Okay. I don't know that I would ever write that story, but all
No.
right.
Now you have it on record. The rights are yours if you ever wanted to a time traveling rock star.
Yes.
All right. One more round. It's a different graph. You can give us the same numbers or new numbers. It's up to you.
Okay.
Um, and then we'll put you out of your misery.
All right. Okay, let's go for 9,
Mhm.
5, 1, 8.
8, 9, 5, 1, and 8. Oh, I love this one. We have it a few times, but oh, hang on. No, you are in the Sahara Desert.
Okay.
And your genre is children's literature.
Okay.
A kid's book. Okay, you. I don't know how this is gonna work, but your main character is a door-to-door salesman.
And your crazy addition is something or someone that must appear at least once in the story. And yours is a heist.
A heist.
Heist.
This is weird.
Right.
It's a kid's book or movie or whatever you want to be, but it's for kids. It's set in the
Yep.
Sahara Desert. Your main character is a door-to-door salesman, and there's got to be a heist.
Okay. I'm kind of feeling this one
Yeah.
actually.
All right. Cool.
All right. I'm going to take some liberties.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
and say like our kids are part of a traveling caravan,
Okay.
desert nomads,
Yeah.
um who sell stuff, um
Okay.
and because that brings in a nice fantasy element that
Mhm.
I like. um and the heist, let me think. I want to kind of make the I want to have to kind of make the kids do the heist somehow.
Excellent.
Um, I reckon they are attacked by another caravan,
Mhm.
and hmm, I need more thinking time on this one, obviously. Um, but so yeah, so the so the kids are part of this traveling caravan. So they are pretty much training to be door-to-door salesmen.
It's the origin of the
Okay.
door-to-door salesman.
It's the origin of the door-to-door salesman. Um, and actually, no, they don't get attacked by another caravan. What happens is they pass like uh like a rich noble's
Yeah.
caravan,
Okay.
and um I think the nobles kind of like disdain
Yeah.
their caravan, but
Mhm.
they sort of like flash some wealth around, and so they're they're like, okay, we got to get like it becomes a we've got to
Yeah.
get like that particular ruby ring
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something, um and that's kind of like their and then they got to sell it back to the guy.
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. Excellent.
That's good. That's good. See? See? I'm smelling your next two books right there. All right, well done. I almost feel like we need to retire the Rockstar Ryan because we get it
I
all the
think
time.
so. I think so. We have had a lot of rock stars
Or I
and
can just
cul-de-sac.
at cul-de-sacs and Rockstars. I think I might shift them around.
Shuffle the numbers, yeah.
Yeah, because we do get three a lot. Um, but the one we haven't had in a while is Henry Cavill. He hasn't turned up in a while. We,
Well, we've never had the Sahara Desert.
oh no, we had that
So that's
once. We had that once.
okay. All right. Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but everything else we get a lot. But well done, Catherine. You passed. You it's yeah. So thank you for joining us. It's been a blast. It went really fast. Um,
Yeah.
now we're going to give you the floor to plug yourself. Tell our listeners and viewers where they can keep up to date with what you're doing. Anything you want to plug, the floor's yours.
Sure. Okay. Well, I go by the handle Eclecta Perennial in most places on social media and Facebook if you want to follow me. That's my website as well, although you can get to it through Cathryn DeVries as well. They both point to the same place.
Yeah.
And I would absolutely love people to join me on my author journey, and I would love to give you Lightning Hunter free so you can get a taste of the fantasy world that I have made for the trilogy. And yeah, just keep up with when it's all going ahead and whatever. Um, so yeah, my newsletters are pretty fun. They come with this little cute snail that you know that's my sort of mascot. 'Cause yeah, I like the I've just lost myself. Anyway, um, yes. So I make my cute little snail because I'm the Slow Readers Society, which is all about like it's not reading slowly necessarily, but reading deeply,
Yeah.
getting back to just really enjoying books, and savoring them.
Yeah.
So that's what the snail is all
Yeah.
about. And I just like usually just share a little story about my life, and it's very light, very lightweight, not yeah, not heavy selling or anything.
Yeah.
But yes, so I just want to connect with readers basically,
Yeah.
and yeah, give you my books, and hopefully you like my writing style and whatever. But yeah, so that's big one is, and that's totally free. And I would, love you to check out Son of Osivirius as well, and get all the attached freebies that I've like made for alongside it. And that's available through all the normal retailers. At also direct from me, and also direct from me is the only way you'll ever get the illustrated edition. So either direct from me on my website, or if you see me at a convention. But yeah, that's it pretty much.
Cool. Well, everyone, I will leave all those links down below. Please sure to check them out. Support the author community of Australia. It's not just about you Americans. Buy some Aussie books. And,
Yeah.
if you want to reach out, thetrueandthefictional@gmail.com. But I will say this now: we do have to close off our guest applications because I have a long list to get through. We've had way too much interest. So please be patient. But if you want to join our Discord, we do have a growing community there. You can get on some of our we're starting to do multi-author episodes, so we're gonna have a whole lot of them, so you'll have a good chance of getting on if you join our Discord. Reach out, we'll give you that. Please check out our sponsors, Rebecca Kearsells, Martin Kearns, our honorary sponsors, Janelle Schiecke and Alexander Robb. And in the meantime, keep supporting those authors, those indie authors, and we'll catch you on the next episode.